Hi everybody, thanks for joining us today. This is Ingrid Karazinger with the Positive Impact Project, and I'm here today with Shannon Ogg and Marco Oliver, who are going to be talking to us a little bit more about their work, what they do, and they're both, they have a show called Conversations with Spiritual People, if you haven't seen it, online, and we are going to do a little bit of that today. Conversation with spiritual people. So if you guys have any questions, if you want to join in the conversation during the feed, feel free to type those questions in and we'll see if we can get some answers for you. And maybe you have some ideas, some things that you want to know more about. And this is a great opportunity to get information from people who are knowledgeable, who do this for a living. And thank you so much for joining us, you guys.
Well, thank you for having us
again. And exciting.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you guys do for the audience if they're just tuning in.
Well, me and Marco have a group called Conversation with Spiritual People that meets on the third Wednesday of the month here at Lady Cheshwan's Healing Center. We moved from the Edgar Casey Center. We're here now. And it's an open group to anybody that's seeking information, that wants to come out and ask the questions. And so that part of it, but we have our business is Conversations with Spiritual People. I do shamanic work, I do massage, I do readings, mediumship. I do all kind of things. I have a big old toolbox.
You have a big toolbox, okay.
And I'll let Marco tell you what he does.
Well, I do a little bit of everything like you mentioned. Actually, this Sunday is my last day for training to be a yoga therapist. So I'm finishing my 200 hours as an integrative yoga therapist. So I'll be able to teach meditation, teach mindfulness and coaching, teaching people about expression and how to move the energy through whether it's dance or writing it out. So mindfulness, and that's what we do. We love to inspire and empower others through the work that we do, because we live it, but we love to empower others through what we learn as we go on this journey.
And what a journey it is.
It has its challenges, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely, because but it's like we're put in a place, you have to walk your walk and your talk, and if you're going to talk it, you got to walk it. And our journey that we've been on has been incredible, because things show up and we go, okay. Or even when it's even negative stuff, it's how you react and how you move and be with it, and know that everything, even the negative, is something positive, because it's changing and shifting and moving, and things open up and the doors open up. So that's where we are. We work with people in that way, whether on a personal one-on-one, in our healing room on the other side, or in one of our classes that we do, or in one of our open groups that we do. We're always doing something. I'm telling you, we are on the go.
We love to learn, so we're constantly expanding our consciousness, whether it's physical or spiritual or mental. Like you're going to school as well right now, aren't you?
And I'm going to Touch of Healing Institute, which is so that I can become a licensed international healer.
That's exciting.
And you can find that, and if you'll look, she's going to do a basic class that's going to show up pretty soon, and we're going to be posting up for that, because it's a really interesting. It's you've got to dedicate yourself a little bit to it. I've really discovered a lot about myself going through this, as well as Marco.
It's a
going
discipline,
through
our work.
It's like, oh wow, here I forgot about that. I've hid that in there. So what we've been working with now is we really want to work with people on being a witness, and we're creating and we're putting this together, and how that looks, and we're working in that space of what is in your heart, not what's in your mind, but what is your heart language, what is being told in your heart, what are you talking about in there, and being able to have somebody witness that, to have it brought forth, because and I'll share a little bit without any names. A young man came to video us last night, and we were talking about money and success and how success is. And I said, well, what does your heart say? How do you dance with that? And how are you being with that? And all of a sudden he's talking about his dad, you know, and so we had to go into heart space with it and expand that energy. And he got it. He understood that, wow, his, you know, it's like your love language, but it's your success language, you know. How do you got that? What is it like?
That everything starts from here.
Yeah, it's not
everything
here.
we manifest. Yeah.
That if it's in your mind right here, I always call that if it's in your mind, it's on its way out. It's what you're not saying or what you're not hearing.
I love that.
That is the place that you got to go to.
I always say, my clients that come to me, I always tell them, you should explore healing work. You should take a Reiki class. You should do something where you understand and learn about energy and how you're manifesting, how you're creating, how you're using your energy or how you're not using your energy, and how most people walk around like victims. They're not necessarily paying attention to energy, how they put it out or how it's coming back at them.
Right.
So I think everybody can benefit from energy work.
Yes.
From taking classes like that.
And you'll probably remember this. Remember back, it's been a while, the Celestine prophecy?
Right.
They had me and Marco both. We've watched this. We had to rewatch it again
to
remember how energy moves and how we're setting, and is my energy being a neutral in a loving space, or am I trying to overdo or push you or pull you, or either way, and how does that feel? And that's, you know, what we teach people to be with in that space and how that works, you know. So we have I have more certificates than I know what to do.
You're a spiritual scholar.
Yes, because I've been doing this for about 25 years. I've been doing this.
Me too.
Yeah, and it's
I
like
started younger than you.
I know.
I was a teenager when I started.
Well,
there was a big awakening at that time.
Well, for me, yeah, it was, because I got hit with a 2x4 when I had a car accident, and I went to the other side, and I came back, and everything is on, and it's like, okay, 25 years ago, this was really taboo and woo-woo. You know what I do, you know, you really get out there, and like what you do, you talking to dead folks. We did that behind the closed doors. Now it's out there. And if I say, I talk to people on the outside, they're like, for real, it's my mom.
I know, immediately. Read me.
Yeah, and it's like,
I'm off duty. No.
no, this is what I like to do.
Sometimes, but
people say, well, what did they say? I said, they said, run.
Run!
I love that one.
I love that. And you have to have a sense of humor. Some people take it so seriously.
You know,
or get scared, and it's like, lighten up.
One of my teachers told me one time, she said, if you ever go to a shaman or somebody that's teaching and they can't laugh or smile, run.
Yeah.
Run.
You gotta have a sense of humor about yourself.
Absolutely.
Definitely. But that's also a sign of intelligence, you know, just being able to see yourself clearly.
Me and Marco, we laugh at the most craziest stuff, and it's like we just live life and we're here, and we just say yes. Okay, we'll do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
And that's how we operate, you know. We're creating a new website. We're going on this grand journey. Well, I'm leaving next Tuesday to go to Colorado to see clients. Marco's staying here holding down the fort because we're both going to go to Peru at the end of August. And so it was kind of how we're weighing it out with, you know, we need to be seeing clients here, but we also need to go there, and you know, and so we're going to kind of split and do and work, you know, and sometimes that's the way it works.
So have you guys set up your tour yet?
Oh, it's already done.
Your tour for the global?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw that in the ethereal. I just didn't know if you guys had set it up yet. That's awesome.
So wait a minute, you done saw something. I'm disagreeing. I'm saying yes.
Global tour.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see you guys in a lot of different countries doing talks. So.
We have my passport.
I do want to share while we're out there. We're going to be doing ministry work, so we're going to be taking stuff to the children's hospital. So if anybody has any baby clothes or baby things that they want to donate, you can send us an email. We're actually going to take medical supplies up there.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
from well, we can't say the place on.
Yeah.
But anyway, they are donating. We don't have permission. So.
Okay, that's great.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Definitely.
But there is an organization that is giving lots of baby stuff.
Great.
So we're going to be packing. We're taking 2 suitcases. One of mine is going to be full, and one of his is medical supplies to go to the small villages and stuff in Peru. So
Wonderful.
Connect with the communities, learn from them, learn from the culture.
but all pediatric stuff. So
Are you guys going to do any talks, or are you just...
we're training.
Okay.
This is more training. We're going to spend
2 weeks.
2 weeks with the shamans. Eduardo, who is the most coolest dude, he messages me and sings to me, and we're very connected
That's amazing.
with each other. And I send him videos, and he sends me videos. And his wife is actually going to be here in February
Next year.
Great.
So really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go and train. We're going to get learn the monai in traditional way. And some other stuff that's going to go. We're actually going to do a video documentary.
Wow, out there.
Wonderful. Yes, you should document everything you're doing.
Well, and we got
Or it
offered
didn't happen,
this whole,
you know what I mean?
this whole process that we're doing is going to, it's turning out to be just pretty incredible how the expansion that everything is happening.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, how is this working? You know,
The synchronicity.
and we just keep saying yes.
Just go with the flow.
So, what do you guys currently, what kind of things do you do here in your new office space?
Girl.
Besides everything. Like, give us an example. It's just a few things that you provide when people come over to see you.
Well, we do teamwork together. When somebody comes in and has, I see an attachment, they can have, some things going on. Me and Marco will work as a team, and I'll spirit walk with the person while he does more of the physical realm work. And I go in and take care of things that needs to be moved, or maybe a loved one has attached, or there's something has, they need to move forward. So I'll go in and do that, where he will do a lot of more of the physical thing, but it also allows me to come back. Marco calls it the other guy. When the other guy gets in, he knows it's on.
It's a dance. It's a dance.
When the holy water comes out,
You know it's getting
Just let it wash over you.
Marco does. I'll never forget the first time he did one with me, because I'm like, okay, he wants to learn. Let's come on. And you'd never do that kind of work by yourself, You know what I'm talking about when you always want to make sure there's somebody there watching you back. I mean, I do a lot of other things. I talk to people's parents or whoever's on the other side, but the first time we were in the room and the person had something attached to them and they had an experience, let's put it that way.
Oh yeah.
But I had told Marco, now look, if something goes on, just stay, just pray. Just hold energy and pray. Don't move, don't go anywhere. Everything's going to be okay. Just don't. He said afterwards, he said, Shannon, I didn't know whether to run out of the room screaming like a girl. But that sometimes happens. It's not a big thing.
That's not a big thing.
It's not, but I've done it for so
It
long.
is. It's just what it is.
It's just, how does a
And
person
also-
choose to let go? It's like some people want to hold on. It's like, no, let it go.
Well, it's also the idea too that we have to let go of something. Okay, we
Yeah.
know we need to let go of it, but we think we'll have nothing left. We'll be
That's
empty there.
right.
Mhm.
So why would I do that? Why would I get rid of this when right now it's the only thing I
Yes,
have?
that's
So in
it's
healing
an
work,
identity
right?
sometimes.
And so in healing work, we really have to also help them
Yes, no,
to
but
understand that there's something else that's going to come in that's
Yeah, them.
better.
Them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do. They see that after, but sometimes they want to hold on so tight because they don't know what else they can have.
I call it liberation.
I love that
They're being
word.
liberated
I love
because
that.
in that
It's true.
state, when it's finished, when we're done working and they feel liberated, they're like, wow, what happened? You know.
I just gained something I didn't know was
Yeah,
there.
that's right, and then you gained you get to see you more and get to more. They're flying around the room. If you notice, you see anything
Oh
there?
yeah, I can see a lot of energy in here. You know, if you're watching, you probably see maybe some light flickering or some different things on the camera because cameras actually pick up very easily.
Yeah, we.
Angelic energy and things like that.
Oh yeah.
We've seen that a few times.
So that's one of the things we do. We do angelic Reiki healings. We do drumming. We do. It's just kind of personalized. If you're coming to see us privately, Marco does fairy readings. He does healings,
Angel readings.
things.
Speaking of angelic Reiki, we actually are going to start up this month again. We used to do once a month an angelic Reiki share and meditation where people can come and receive angelic Reiki and also experience the energy. So we're going to be having that 2 weeks from now on Saturday morning. It's going to be the third Saturday from 11 to 12:30.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna, and just a little bit, we're gonna demonstrate for you on you.
Yay!
Martha's
We're gonna do demonstration on me
Yay!
today.
We were trying to think, what can we do on camera?
You'll be amazed.
Yes, you can.
But let's just stick with the healing today.
That's awesome.
People are creative, you know. We
Yes,
all
they are.
have past imaginations.
Yeah, but it's, you know, when somebody comes, and then when we do workshops, like next Wednesday, I'm going to do spoon bending, you know, mind over matter, and people letting go. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we went and fire walked. Marco walked from the fire.
Back to what you were saying, you know, doing things out of our comfort zone, challenging ourselves, and having somebody to mirror that and be like, hey, like to push you. And
Yeah,
he was on there.
we always push each other. That's something we do. We push each other. We're gonna go jump from a plane in September. Me,
I've
Marco,
been wanting
and
to do
Kristen.
that. That sounds
Let's
so
go, let's
awesome.
go.
I'm afraid of heights, and I'm thinking, well, what
That's
better
okay.
way? I might ask somebody
So,
to actually
that's
push
the
me,
thing.
but push
It's
me out.
facing our fears.
So I was telling Chris this morning. I said, Chris, I think my intent when we jump from the plane is that when I jump out, I'm jumping into my new life,
I love that.
and I'm leaving the old on the plane. Wow.
That's wonderful.
And you know, I am going to have somebody attached to
In
me.
the back hall to be
Just-
Just-
well, you need
Just
support.
well,
You need
if I'm
support.
going. I'm not going by myself.
We all need that. Somebody give us a nice hug on the way down.
Yeah, I told him.
We might get lucky because one of us ain't our time.
I told him, can we pick who's strapped behind us? Let's see. I feel safe with you.
Yeah. So we do several different things. We're going to do spoon bending. Marco's going to be here doing conversation with spiritual people. But he's actually going to do. He didn't say that he's a dance instructor too. Very good dancer.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I'm gonna bring that more forward into my practice. Teaching, I like recently doing this beyond angelic mastership. I realized the importance of expressing and like, okay, how does that feel? Show me in your body, because a lot of times we get in the head, and I'm infamous for that. That's why I dance in yoga, because it helps me ground and be me. And I'm like, okay, show me how do you express? How does that feel? Is it expansive or does it feel small?
Does
Does it
it
wave?
feel like this? Does it feel
It's another meditation. It's a type
Yes.
of meditation.
But the body knows what the rhythm it needs, and it remembers that. So in your healing, and you do this little movement for 28 days, and your body starts letting it go and releasing.
Love that. Makes you more
It's like
fluid.
the movement.
And
It's the fluidness of the energies, the movement.
Are you going to be teaching some dance?
Yes.
Yes.
Teacher here?
He's gonna
That's
do
excellent.
salsa and
Yes,
bachata.
some social dancing, some bachata,
Oh.
some salsa. I used to do a lot of social dancing, getting people together, getting them out of their comfort zone.
Okay.
So challenging them to, find a way to express yourself, not just only through your words. You've noticed for me, I'm more of a quiet one, but not really. I'm like, when I'm talking. The Gemini comes out, I'm like, let's do it! But sometimes is it my turn?
I love it. I love it though. There's so many, and they say that the speaking part is really a small part of communication.
Absolutely.
Our body language. My in-laws who are all, they're Turkish and they don't speak a lot of English, they'll be talking to each other or to my husband, and I will know what they're talking about because of one or two words and the body language.
That's right.
And at the end I'll say something like, how did you know what we're talking about? And it's really, there's so much expression physically that we just ignore, really.
It's true.
So it's exciting to get in touch with that.
Well, we talked about that because, like for me, I could sit and tell you so much about you by just watching how you are being. How if I said, well, tell me about your mom, and you go,
right, you get something from that.
or you say, well, tell me a story about your dad, and you go,
Did you just go there?
Yeah. You can tell, but our people's body, they do different things. They'll touch their bodies and different things, but it's like this. Like I said, it's a language. You learn like the love language, the success language, the body language, the movement. And I wouldn't taught that. I mean, Spirit taught me. It's just like pay attention. You pay attention. People blinking their eyes.
And there's certain ways. I learned this one thing about where your eyes go,
That's
where you're
right.
retrieving information. So if your eyes are looking down, that means you're going into your emotions and you're retrieving like a memory that's a feeling memory. And if you look up, you're going for a visual memory. And then I think the side is like auditory, something you heard or you remember it that way. It's just really interesting how you can pick up on
you close the
where you're
eyes,
accessing that information.
if you close the eyes, you go into the past.
Oh, okay.
That's why when I work with you, I want you to sit in front of me and I want you to stay with me. Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me. And some people, it's hard because they don't want to know. I call it running.
Oh.
And they'll run around the room and run around the room, but they're not moving. Their energy is just going all the way around, and you can tell. All of a sudden, we'll get them to a certain point, and then they're just like, okay, now it's time.
Pop down in there.
It's like, hey, aren't you tired of running? Because I'm tired of chasing you. Just come and sit down. Let's have a cup of tea. And
well, I had a client. She brought her teenage daughter in the other day, and she has like a severe OCD thing going on. So, but there's a lot of things, outside of that, around that I was seeing. But the first thing I really did was give her a minute to just kind of sink into that couch, to be present, because there was a lot of fear, a lot of things going on.
Right.
And throughout the conversation, it was more of me just telling her, you're perfect. That there's nothing wrong with you. That this is okay. It's okay to be different. You haven't stepped into your power yet.
Right.
It's really about understanding who you are, and that those things all kind of drop away, because any kind of pain or suffering is resistance. That's all it is. Anytime we have suffering, we're resisting. And so that disorder, all of that stuff was her resisting between what I saw the dynamics of her family and who she was, and that there was a battle going on there. So once she really understood, this is who I am and that's okay. And I feel like most people walk around like that, and they walk around thinking they should be something else. They should be whatever those expectations were put on them. And so I feel like healing work, and I feel like all of this work that I do is really about helping people to understand that who they are is just fine.
yes.
You don't have to be anything else. It's your
A
unique
tree that's not going to
expression.
be a tree, because a tree is a tree. You can't change a tree. Doesn't want to pull up roots and go over there and be a bush.
Yeah.
It just wants to be a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And society says, oh, you got short hair, so you're broke. You got a tattoo, you're broke. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot
And my biggest thing
of
is
judgments.
well, here's the biggest thing for me is people in the metaphysical community say, oh, I want to see ETs. I want to see, when are we going to have the first contact? When are they going to tell us disclose? Well, when are you going to stop seeing color? When are you going to stop being racist because you see something
Different.
that somebody's different? When are you going to stop seeing yourself as broke? Because you hear these other beings that are going to come, and you see them. Yeah, they don't look. All of them don't look like us. They kind of look like us, but they don't look like us.
They know they don't want to show up here and get shot at. They are smarter for a reason.
You know what?
It looks like we have some. Caroline, I want to learn salsa. Okay, I'm dancing. Good for you. Boy, you're gonna get some of that here. So, what is your website they can go to and find these classes?
CWSP, Conversations with Spiritual People, 4444.com.
Okay, great. And then I'll put the links in there too.
Yeah, we made it simple.
That's great.
CWSP 4444.
And then that is going to have classes or things like that.
Everything. It's going to be our virtual home.
The hub.
Our hub
Great.
where people can see what we're doing, where we're traveling, our meetups, all of our events. Our conversations with spiritual people. I'm going to create a section where it'll be our video blogs so people can go back, and a lot of the times when we share what you do, there's a lot of pockets of wisdom that people can go back and rewatch it at any time.
That's
So
great.
a lot of useful tools to apply in your life to make life a little bit less stress free, a little bit more relaxed,
So, for like me, when we do videos, and the people that know me, it's like, if you're asking me the question, and we can go deeper, and then you can take it even deeper and deeper, and they're more than willing to give the information. But sometimes you just gotta ask the question, and it's like, they always love when somebody, should you? And mine always says, sure.
I was thinking in school, when you're in college, you're taking a class, and I learned that if you don't even know what the question is, then you're not ready for the answer, meaning that you don't even know enough to ask a question in that subject.
And then
so you have a lot more learning to do before you come up with that question to take you to the next level.
That's right.
So sometimes it's important to just listen and continue to learn if you don't really know what to ask.
So one of the things I tell Marco is that if you can formulate the question, you already know the answer.
That's one of my
and
favorite
you're ready
things.
for that next level.
That's right. And so when it comes through and it's in that space, that's where we're working at. So we do classes here, like we're gonna do spoon bending. We're gonna do ordained minister on
This Saturday.
Great.
Sunday.
Sunday, yes.
Let me make sure. Don't listen.
One of these days.
Sunday.
He's normally the one telling me what days.
The calendar.
Marco, when do I have an appointment?
That's good. You balance each other.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. So on Sunday we have an ordained ministers class. I think we have just a couple, like 1 or 2 spots left.
2 spots left, yeah.
And that starts at 7. If you want information, you can message us for that. We're doing that. Then we're going to do a spirit walk. And let me explain what that is.
Yes.
You're probably going, well, what is that?
What is that? That's a good question.
It's a group healing. It's a group healing. And it's where you come and you're on the floor, and I have a mesa. I build a place, a sacred area. And I began to use tools and sounds and things and start working with you, but as a whole group, and I'm moving the energy as a whole group. And maybe Marco is dealing with grief over here. And so I'm clearing him, but if there's grief in you, it's going to go. He's going to be the one that does it for the whole group, but you might also have a release at the same time. Very fascinating. I've had some of the most incredible experiences doing it. Marco, I'm with everybody all at one time. I have this gift that I can be. You're never alone as we walk. And I walk with you, and we walk together as a group, and we're moving the energy, and I'm walking and looking and seeing.
It's beautiful.
And I love doing it. but my body, it takes doing
That's
groups.
tall.
You know what I'm saying? When you hold space for a
Huge.
bigger
A lot
group,
of people,
it sometimes I have to lay down on the next day.
It's like you ran a marathon, you're all sore.
Recharge.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like when I do like 2 hours of 15 people group reading, just boom.
Yeah.
Which I
and
did
you're
like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and at the end, you're just kind of sitting.
Yeah. Because you're holding
Staring.
that space. People don't realize it's like, wow, when you hold space for people, if they come to your space, you're ensuring that they are safe and they're comfortable and
It's kind of
whatever
hiding
they're
everybody.
whatever they
Yeah.
need. It's not my responsibility that you heal. It's my responsibility to make you feel
Yes.
safe. Yeah. To feel loved, to offer that love to you.
That's one thing I teach in my classes, and that's one of the biggest points I think everybody should know is you only have control over what you give, what
That's
you're
right.
doing, and then how it's received. I mean, that's just out into the
Oh,
universe now. So how that person reacts, or what they learn from it, or if they heal or not, or what they do with that information is none of my business after
That's
that
right.
point.
All I do is
give.
offer the love to you, and I set it up there for you. I put it on the counter and say, here it is. You want it?
So, did you want to do the healing? with
Yes,
us?
we do.
So you're gonna
So-
put me in the chair, the blue chair,
We're gonna bring
Okay.
that. Well, I think we might have to move the camera back.
because
a
I can
little
always
bit, so
move
we-
this forward too, if that's easier, just to move it forward.
It's
and
better
then
in a chair like this than with a
Sure.
leather.
Okay, great.
And for you,
Hey,
and we can just
guys.
switch real quick.
Gonna have some fun. So Carolyn here is asking a question. I don't know
Okay.
if you
but I
can
want
see
that.
her. Do you feel that we need any other reason for wanting to see the immigrants other than the desire to learn what they know and to be an ambassador of peace among the earthlings?
We're talking ETs?
It sounds like, yeah, maybe she's talking about.
Yeah, well, I think that's what she said. Immigrants.
Yeah, I was confused for a minute, but.
You're not getting
I know,
what she
I know,
is.
I know.
Oh, I don't know. Wait, let's do Marco. No. This is exciting. I don't get this very often, so I'm excited about this.
Would you like the music as well?
Well, I'm
Create the
gonna
whole-
move to that side. You're gonna move behind
Yes.
her.
I like
and
being
we'll
center of
just
attention.
demonstrate.
This is great. Playing
Yeah,
musical
thank you.
chairs.
So let me explain. Angelic Reiki, it was created by Kevin Coe from England.
Do you want to come?
And I'm
There
just
we
in the,
A little bit in the frame. There we
Okay.
go.
There you are. You did a little dance move getting down there, didn't you?
so from England, and there's not many people that teach the actual original teachings. Actually, me and Marco just finished the advanced training in it, so we're one of very few Americans to actually teach the advanced parts of this or be able to do that. So you're going to receive some advanced work from him. It's very simple, and it's kind of almost misleading a little bit when you say Reiki with it. We're not going to do. You're initiated with symbols in the class,
But you don't really.
but you don't use the symbols. Marco's going to call his healing angel in. His healing angel is going to do the work. Marco's going to sit over in his little lounge chairs, read and watch soap operas, and while his angel does the work. Very simple, and a lot of people don't realize that they can channel, and they can let the angel get close enough to them to send energy. Maybe your ascended master, maybe the cosmic beings come in and work. And they're high level. They're all in 100% pure light and have not been tainted by the dark. There's a very specific procedure that we work
Energy.
through during the class. And the class is 2.5 days for level 1 and 2. And you get trained on how to use, can make the first connect with your healing angel, because everybody has one, but they don't know how to connect with them. So we teach you how to connect with them. We teach you how to channel the energy, let the energy flow. We teach you how to use the third eye,
Healing through the third eye.
working with the ascended masters and things. So the technique is very, very powerful to work with. So Marco's going to, while I'm explaining, I was hoping he would go ahead and do
Start working on
that.
I don't know. I think when he was doing that there, it felt very.
I was just
energetic. energetic too.
Oh,
All right.
so what he's going to do now is he's going to center himself. He's going to check his body and map his body and say, wow, do I have aches, pains? Do I feel good? Do I feel sad? And so he's expanding his energy and getting into the emotional fields.
Okay.
So that he feels out here. And your job is just to relax and look good.
Okay, I can do that. The
And-
look good part. I'll try to relax too.
So his angel will come in, and so what he'll make the initial first connection, physical connection with you, and then he's going to check himself what shifted in him. Because he wants to note what is him and what is you. And I'm going to slide away a little bit because I can feel yoga. So
you want to get closer.
Marco's angel is already knocking on the door. That's what I call it. He's already there at Marco's energy field. So Marco is merging yours and his energies together, making a bubble, and you're just going to relax. You can feel that relaxing. His angel is going to knock on the door. Marco's going to make sure that that's who it is and what they're about and everything. Bring them in. And his angel is just going to wrap their wings right around you. Just so incredible. And his angel puts his hands on his hands, and they begin to work. Marco is now over visiting, watching TV, whatever he's doing. And so maybe Marco will call in one of the Ascended Masters to come in and be with you that needs whatever energy you need. There. So what Marco is doing is working in her etheric fields. The etheric healer came in, and his angel is actually doing a lot of etheric work with her, just moving some energies. And sometimes, like with Ingram, sometimes when we do healing work or work with somebody doing things, sometimes we get a little residual from people's stuff and things, and we have to get it cleaned off. Even healers need to be healed, need work. And so that's what he's doing. He's just brushing off, clearing out some residual of some stuff that's going on. A little more advanced. You will learn that in the more advanced classes if you take the more advanced classes with us. But in level 1 and 2, you're just channeling the energy. Now, in England, this is actually a medical procedure. You have to be bonded and insured to actually do this technique. And what we're understanding, you can't even do distant healing in England unless you have personal permission from the person, or you're liable, like a lawsuit, like malpractice. And it's very gentle. It's like the dance. Marco's angel and him is dancing together and just moving the energy. And so we're going to ask the Ascended Master to step back. Anything that Ingram needs, any last minute energy she needs, is going to come from their heart to hers. And Marco's going to go through the process of disconnecting. He's giving lots of love to his angel and to Ingram, and saying thank you. Now for a real session, it was an hour. Where we're just doing a little demonstration so that you can experience it, what it is and how it works. So now what he's doing is making sure that he is disconnected from Ingram and his healing angel and anybody else, no cords and anything like that. We're going to let Ingram just sit for just a minute because she's marinating. I'm watching her energy and she's going, oh, I like that. But in a full session, he would take you a lot deeper, probably go into some past life stuff or move you into some energies and things like that. Because you could do past life retrievals with it, soul retrievals, doing the angelic Reiki.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw this beautiful, huge angel come out with like flapping the wings, like trying to just take off when you started, and then kind of came back in when you were done. So it was like came out of you and I guess was around and then came back. That was beautiful. Well, I hope you guys saw some cool stuff while you're watching the video, because
Awesome.
I'm gonna have to see it later what all went on around there if it showed up on camera. But yeah, I feel like I'm in actually it's like a bathtub, you know, like I feel like I'm just kind of floating but in water, so it's like cleansing. But
Yes, yeah.
it's lovely.
And that's what will occur. I mean, it's not just learning it. Learning itself, it really.
You can sit in the middle.
I like it.
You get the sandwich.
Oh, we're gonna need you over now. You can put chairs again.
So in this technique, during the level 1 and 2, you learn so much, and actually you're going to be getting healed doing it's not just sit around and let's read a book. No, you're actually, it's interactive, very interactive. We do initiations, we do some very deep cleansings with you. The angels come in and do the healing, and the angels come in and do the initiations. It's very profound. And it's more experiential than anything that I can say.
And that, I second that, because when you try to explain it to people, I'm like, you just have to experience it, because each individual has their own experience. So to say, you know, it's this, it doesn't justify it.
Yes, and that's why we offer the 1 day a month that you can come and experience it. So that you can practice, but you can also come and experience what it is and see if it's something that you want to take, or you can have a private session. And like I was saying, in England, it's a medical practice. You have to be insured, like malpractice insurance, to actually even do this technique.
It's beautiful. And do you have feedback? I mean, what is it like for you when you're doing it?
It's like a dance. Like literally, it's like you sit back and you just allow the energy to kind of it just flow. And depending on what I feel, like I would like to share that off camera, just but well, I'll just share it if that's okay with you.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
I feel what they were showing me, it's like taking on too much. It's like you need to protect your filter, or like filter I felt it on this side.
Okay.
Something like taking on too much, like absorbing, like a sponge. Because sometimes it's very symbolic. So I'm like, what is that? I'm like, so it's like absorbing too much. So like protecting your filters, or cleaning them out, or like I'm sure you do it all the time, but sometimes even asking or going to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like me and him, we work all the time, but sometimes we forget, and I'm like, and I'll feel it. Like last week, I was like, I know I'm good, but I feel that I need to be cleared. And he mentioned that. I'm like, just ask, ask.
Right.
Because if we don't ask, and we're like, sometimes we don't, because we're like,
Well,
got this.
like if you're a therapist, you have to have. I mean, technically, they always have their own therapist.
yes.
And when we're in this
I do.
metaphysical work, we don't always think about that we need
Yes.
somebody to support us as well.
But the
So-
main thing is to know when it's time to go.
Right.
And don't say, oh, I
It's
have to do
overdue.
one more.
one more.
It's
Let me get 2 more people, and then I'll go. But
No.
it's a beautiful lesson, because you're teaching others, and you're teaching me, and it goes for everyone,
Right.
to be mindful and ask. And just because you're doing the work, don't feel like, oh, well, it's too much my pride or ego or whatever is preventing you from asking, hey, I need your help. Help me with this.
Or we just don't think about it.
We
We're
really
just-
don't. We really don't.
Take care of myself. What? I don't have time for that.
Well,
and
my
it's
schedule don't
a
allow
lesson.
that.
It's a lesson too. It is.
That's mine and Marco's. It's like our schedule don't allow it.
Mhm.
Where
Me a priority
at
in my own life.
midnight.
Yeah.
But we have to slow down and breathe, because we need to allow the integration of the energy, because sometimes we just go, and we've been doing that for the last 2-3 weeks. Go, and it's like catching up, like allowing all the energy to. I'm like, slow down and just let it marinate, let it just be in the present, and just breathe and like slow down.
And
We need that reminder.
absolutely. Otherwise,
All
you know
of
what
us do.
happens.
All
You
of
know
us
what
do.
happens. We either get sick,
Then it gets
or
us.
Yeah,
or
we do.
it's like they create some kind of wackiness in our world. It's like
I
they
got plenty
will.
of that too. I don't need more, but
Cancel clear. We don't need none of that in
But
there.
normally that's when it's like, oh wait, you got to remember to take care of you. Fernando, he reminded me. He said, Shannon, I do 5 vacations a year because I have to have that structure. They're built into my calendar before I even start the year, and these are the times that I'm going to do them. And I thought that was like, you know what? We have to. That's one of the reasons why we're going to Peru, because it's
That's
like
right.
that's our
And I-
rejuvenating time.
I know somebody who, I've known a few people in my life that never get sick, and they're people that also have very strong boundaries and don't give. And
Right.
basically, they just always take care of themselves, and they're successful, and they
Mhm.
usually have money, and they're always physically well. And I haven't seen those particular people necessarily be full of joy and happiness, but there's also kind of a neutral energy there. But I think I can really learn a lot from that, and the idea that sometimes we tend to, especially when we're healers,
Right.
go too
Push,
much,
pull,
too
yeah.
much in one way, and we have to find that balance, that middle ground.
Give and take. When we just
Mhm.
give, and we forget to or being neutral.
Yeah.
To be the generator, just making that energy move, keep moving, and we do.
So what do you guys recommend to people out there as far as maybe a daily practice, something they can do to keep themselves clear or to work on bringing more energy into their lives? I mean, if you have any suggestions or things that you do like on a daily basis.
2 shots of tequila.
We might have too many people out there already doing that, so let's bring up some new ideas.
On a daily basis for me, like in the morning, I wake up and be in gratitude for me. And then when I put my feet on the ground, I say, I do my grounding. I'm here. This is where I'm working at. This is what I'm doing, and I move through the day. I mean, there's several. You could do a little practice where you're creating and generating and moving the energy and aligning your energies, doing mudras. To where you're balancing your energy. But for me, when I wake up in the morning, I always get gratitude. And then when I put my feet on the ground, I always make sure I say I'm grounded, I'm here. And I know when I don't, because I'll catch myself all airy-fairy and out there and gone away.
Oh. How about you, Mark?
For me, I do 3 different things. I start with the prayer, gratitude, very important, gratitude attitude, being grateful for which I already have, and calling in my angels, my guides, my teachers. I always ask for them to guide my words, thoughts, and actions for the highest good of all, not just myself. Sometimes we pray and it's just me. But, I want to be of service. So I want my actions to speak and everything to be guided. That's prayer, meditation, and I tell people, even if it's 1 minute, I thought that it was like, it has to be super long and you got to do all these crazy meditations. I'm like, just 1 minute of your 24 hours, and all it takes, and maybe not even a minute, just like,
and say, I love.
Just breathe and just,
I love.
I love you guys.
And I would say this,
I joy you.
I joy you too. One of the other things that I do in the morning, besides gratitude, I always ask my guides, angels, master teachers, and all that is, to give me the upgrades. Whatever it is today, whatever the upgrades that I need for my soul advancement, bring it forth.
Wonderful.
Let it happen.
Wonderful. I know for myself, just doing this work every day, it's like when I channel, when I do teaching, those type of things, it's kind of like that's my ritual. That's when I get all the energy coming through. So I don't necessarily do it consciously otherwise, but if there goes a day or two where I don't have a client or a class, then I definitely feel a dip in my energy. So I try to remember I still need to do it even if I'm not working. Do it for myself. But those are great. Gratitude in the morning. I have a big picture of this as, gratitude on there, and it's almost like because I have the picture, I don't look at it. So it is about being mindful of that.
One more thing I want to add. You mentioned grounding. A lot of times we meditate, so we're like, whoosh,
yeah.
And I love that space, but I learned that I need to also be in this plane.
Right.
So dancing, yoga,
physical stuff.
Doing stuff that gets me in my body, grounded. I'm here. Because otherwise, it's unbalanced. You know?
can't manifest in that area. You're living here, and you got to be grounded to manifest
Bring
in
both
this.
together.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on my show today.
You're most
And
welcome.
you guys have a great show yourselves. So if you guys want to catch them on their own show, which is Conversations with Spiritual People, you can look it up on Facebook and join the team. Go watch their shows or come and see them if you're in the Houston, Texas area. You can come and join their group. So that's Shannon Ogg and Marco Oliver. Thank you guys so much for being on today.
Blessings.
We're very blessed and honored.
Thank you for the healing.
And hey, maybe you'll come join us at Conversations.
I
Maybe
would
we'll
love that.
interview you.
I would love to just come join you guys and hang out. That would be great.
We'll put on our big red hats for you.
Okay. I don't even know what I was talking about. All right, well, thank you guys. And if you have any questions, if you want to know anything else about these guys, just go ahead and put that in the comments, and we'll put your links in there so that you can talk to them yourselves outside of the show. So thanks again. Have a great day, everybody.
Be blessed. Thank you.
Bye.
Be blessed. Ciao, ciao.